Hey tribe, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be differentiating between oppositional defiant disorder, intermittent explosive disorder, disruptive mood dysregulation disorder, conduct disorder, and antisocial personality disorder. So stay tuned. Okay, and I have a tip for you guys as well. Um, Reading the disorder backwards tells you what the issue relates to. And remember, this is in the context of the mood, the personality, right? So, disorder means there's an issue with something. When something is in order, it's working just fine. When something is not in order, it's in disorder, meaning there's an issue with something. The word or the words before disorder tells you what the issue relates to. Now ask yourself, what does someone with this issue look like, right? And for these disorders below, again, it's in the context of that mood, that personality. So jumping into it, oppositional defiant disorder. Oppositional is resistance expressed in argument, and defiant meaning to resist something. So when we use the tip and read it backwards, disorder, there's an issue with something. What is there an issue with? Defiancy. And remember, in the context of like the mood, the personality, there's an issue with their personality being defiant, and defiant meaning to resist something. They're oppositional, resistance expressed in argument. So they're very combative, very argumentative. What to look for? When someone has a pattern of an angry/irritable mood, the person is argumentative, resentful, argues with authority, argues with adults, refuses to comply with rules, annoys other people on purpose, vindictive, spiteful, and blames other people for their mistakes or misbehavior, doesn't take accountability for their actions. AKA, this person is going against the grain and being difficult for no reason. In the time frame for children and adults, the behavior lasts for 6 months or longer. In a helpful intervention, parent training to assist caregivers in using behavior management techniques is effective to reduce a child's behavioral issues. They can learn skills to reinforce more positive behaviors and discourage the negative behavior that the child is doing. So, again, just to throw it out there, if it's going on with the child, just a helpful intervention. But when we're taking the exam and we get a question that wants us to identify that is oppositional defiant disorder, we're looking for someone that's combative, resistant, especially with authority figures. They're really going against the grain, being quote unquote like difficult with them, right? And then as we scroll down to intermittent explosive disorder, intermittent occurring at irregular intervals, not continuous or steady. The person has reoccurring explosive angry outbursts that are impulsive. They have difficulty controlling their aggression, so the temper tantrums, verbal arguments, fighting. Their anger is disproportionate to the situation. So when we read it backwards, disorder, there's an issue with something. What is there an issue with? Explosive. In the context of personality, there's an issue where their personality is explosive and it happens intermittently, meaning it's occurring irregularly intervals, not continuous or steady. Remember, it's explosive. It's kind of just happening when they get ticked off. What to look for? The verbal or physical aggression is impulsive, not premeditated, meaning it was thought out or planned out before. AKA, little things set them off and they go full hawk mode. The person is a firecracker. The person is a volcano that can erupt at any moment. In the time frame, the child has to be at least 6 years old and can be diagnosed in adults as well. Verbal aggression occurs twice per week or more for at least 3 months, or there has been at least 3 incidents where the child has inflicted damage to property or physically harmed an animal or person within the past 12 months or 1 year. Although time frame is important, look at the difference between oppositional defiant disorder, very combative, going against the grain, but it's not really speaking to physically harming animals or people. This person is just difficult. Again, child or adult. They're being very, very difficult because on the exam, it's not going to list every single criteria. And if they do list a time frame, great, but sometimes they don't always list the time frame. But we can tell by the behavior that, okay, oppositional defiant disorder, they're going against the grain, they're bucking back against authority figures, right? But nothing against harm, physical harm or anything. Intermittent explosive disorder, there can be harm. There is anger outbursts. They're turning full Hulk mode, right? They have a very short fuse, very different, right? And then when we scroll down to disruptive mood dysregulation disorder, what to look for? Similar to intermittent explosive disorder. However, the child is constantly irritable or angry most of the day, nearly every day, even when the child is not having these angry outbursts. Everyone around them sees this. So like the teachers, parents, etc., can't be diagnosed with this disorder as an adult. So remember, this one right here in particular is only for children. AKA, the child is constantly in a bad mood and it shows. Dysregulation mood, dysregulation disorder. Reading it backwards, there's an issue, disorder. There's an issue in the context of their mood, their personality, right? With dysregulation, so regulating their mood, it's disruptive, right? And if a child is constantly in a bad mood, constantly irritable, outside of when they're having their temper tantrums and everything, when we scroll back up a bit for intermittent explosive disorder, this one again very impulsive. It just kind of happening to go full Hulk mode, short fuse. This one is more so speaking to they're more chill when they're not exploding, right? They're chill. When we go to disruptive mood dysregulation disorder, even when they're not having those explosive outbursts, they're irritable. They're in a funk. They have it shows on their face, and people around them see that, hey, this kid isn't in a great mood. And also we know that if they're speaking to an adult, we can automatically rule this one out if this is one of the answer choices, because this is only for children to be diagnosed with. And the time frame to be diagnosed with DMDD, the child has to be at least 6 years old, but not older than 18 years old. This behavior has been going on for 12 months, so 1 year or more. There hasn't been a period of time, 3 or more months, where the behavior hasn't been going on. So it's been going on a while, but again, on the exam, while time frame is important, think about when the question is highlighting the behavior and we're like, is this this or is it that? And when it comes to these ones in particular, disruptive mood dysregulation disorder, yeah, they could be having, the outbursts, the temper tantrums and everything. But even outside of that, they're in a constant state of irritability, anger, frustration, and it shows on their face. And the people around them, like the adults, the teachers, the parents, they see that. Intermittent explosive disorder, the very short fuse, going off everything, but they have periods when they're calm. They're only like this when they're having those explosive outbursts. And it's kind of a random S, right? It's explosive. And with oppositional defiant disorder, there's nothing about physical harm, destroying property, or anything like that. This is more so speaking to, hey, we're bucking back, right? We have a problem with authority, following rules. We're argumentative, we're resistant, right? That constant arguments going on. And then when we get to conduct disorder, think of conduct as in how someone conducts themselves, meaning how someone behaves around others. This person persistently violates the rights of others and or societal norms, rules, laws, etc., which can be aggressive and non-aggressive, such as stealing, telling lies, etc. What to look for? The kid is a bully to people and animals. They threaten people, intimidate them, initiate physical fights, even use weapons against people to inflict harm, starts fires, steals, robs, breaks into people's homes, destroys property, lies to people, runs away from home, doesn't adhere to parental rules, skips school, lack of remorse and empathy. Conduct disorder aggression is premeditated, meaning it was planned and done with the purpose to obtain something such as money, power, or intimidation from others. So, just looking at this one for a second, right? When we talk about conduct disorder, there's an issue with the way a child conducts themselves, right? And the person persistently violates the rights of others and or social societal norms, they're essentially a bully to society. Because again, scrolling back up, disruptive mood dysregulation disorder, this is more so their angry, irritable mood all throughout, right? Yeah, they're explosive. Yeah, they can have that going on, right? But it's more so that ongoing negative mood that's going to differentiate it between the other disorders. Intermittent explosive disorder, it's very impulsive. It's random S, right? Short fuse, going full hawk mode, right? Oppositional defiant disorder, bucking back against the system, authority figures, and everything, right? When we go to conduct disorder, you're wreaking havoc on society, type of thing. And again, this is for children. The time frame, this behavior was going on before the age of 13, and associate conduct disorder with anti-personality disorder because having the symptoms of conduct disorder is needed to be diagnosed with anti-personality disorder. Conduct disorder evolves into anti-personality disorder. And then when we jump to this one, anti-personality disorder, anti means against something. You're anti something. If someone is antisocial, they are against social, which is society, which is the rules, organization. People also make up society. Because they are against society, which is people plus the rules of society, they go against it and inflict harm to it. Bullying, breaking the law, wreaking havoc onto society. This is what conduct disorder evolves into. To be diagnosed with anti-personality disorder, evidence of someone having conduct disorder must have been present, even if they were never officially diagnosed. Because, I mean, just because someone doesn't go to a therapist or psychiatrist and get diagnosed with it doesn't mean that the symptoms weren't there and they just go away or anything. And the time frame is 18 years or older. So again, kind of like with acute stress disorder and PTSD, how acute stress disorder evolves into PTSD after it goes past that time frame. The same thing with this. When someone is 18 years or older, like they're an adult, they have antisocial personality disorder because part of the criteria is them having the symptoms of conduct disorder. And remember, you're just a bully to society. You're not just going against the grain of like being argumentative and everything. You are purposefully seeking to wreak havoc onto society, being a bully, stealing, violating the rights, telling lies. Like you're just again wreaking havoc on society. Conduct disorder is for the children. Antisocial personality disorder is essentially the same thing, but the adult version of conduct disorder. And then when we go again back to disruptive mood dysregulation disorder, this is more so having that constant negative, irritable mood, even when you're not having those temper tantrums. Like at baseline, you have that irritability, that anger, that frustration on your face. It shows, people around you see it, and it's ongoing. That's how you differentiate it between conduct disorder, antisocial personality disorder. And then when you go up to intermittent explosive disorder, again, short fuse, you go in full hawk mode, a lot of like anger outbursts, it's impulsive. You're not doing this to be a bully, where they say it's not premeditated. You're not doing it. It's just you have that short fuse, you go off, right? But at baseline, you're chill. You just have that short fuse. And then when we scroll back up to oppositional defiant disorder, this isn't about inflicting harm or anything like that. This is about, again, just being difficult. You're not really following rules. You're constantly, bucking back against authority figures. So again, on the exam, these are those key differences that we want to be able to highlight to say, oh, this is how I know is this disorder and not that disorders. Okay, tribe, that was it for today's video. Thank you for watching. And like always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share with a friend because we don't want to be licensed by ourselves. All right, tribe, I'll see you next video.